the commission here. The time is now 17:32. I call to order this meeting, special meeting, March 6th, here at the Eckert Center. Before we get started, Hap is not here, so as Wayne Carl, would you lead invocation, please?
Father, bless all of our endeavors, especially today's meeting. Guide us in our discussions. Enlighten our minds in every decision that we make. Give us your grace that we may effectively do our parts as public servants. Amen.
Thank you. And Misty, Commissioner Misty Martin, would you do the pledges for us, please?
Sure. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, indivisible.
Good job, Patty.
Here we-
Great job. Yes.
Good job. Just a couple of notes. Citizens, you may present complaints, comments, or ask questions for items not posted on the current agenda. Commissioner members, I want to let you know that we may not discuss any item except to ask any questions of city staff or citizens for further clarification. But if you would like to, at a later date, request that an item be placed on the agenda, let me know and I will get that placed on it. So the time allotted for citizens for discussion or complaint is 2 minutes, for a group 5 minutes. So I would open the floor at this time for anyone in the public that wishes to make a comment, but I will ask you grab the microphone, state your name, and then present your complaint or comment. Hearing none, seeing no one, we'll go ahead and continue. Item 1 up for discussion and action is discussion and consideration of public and city commission's concern and changes proposed to animal control ordinance sections 13 through 22. Commissioners, do you have your information in front of you? Starting with section 13. Humane care of animals. In looking through section 13, I'm finding there is no corrections made or concerns from the attorney who looked over this. You have any discussion on section 13? Moving to section 14, the public and private nuisance. There is a couple of corrections. If you will look at C and added at the end of private property other than owner's property was a correction made by the city. If you would take a quick look at that and let me know if you are in agreement with that or you have any changes you want made to that.
Or had not put in crowing, the commission wanted to put that back in.
Okay, so are we still on C, Charlie? No information?
Actually D.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I need to, commissioners, y'all have anything for C?
Oh, no.
Y'all good with that?
Mhm.
Okay, now moving to D, Patty, you were saying they wanted to put in crowing, and I do see that. After reading over that, that was the only correction made to it. Commissioners, do you have any comments? Patty, you have any further clarification, other than they wanted to include animal control? No. Okay, hearing none, no other, we'll go to, under F, the next paragraph, there was a deletion they were wanting, and I think that ties into, there's redundancy in citation and fees from early on. It was stated that there's no need to continue to cite. We will charge a fee when it's been cited earlier.
And there is a penalty clause, at the beginning that the attorney, I think added.
Yes.
And so it all falls, rather than have a penalty clause for each section, it all falls under that previous section for penalties,
Which makes sense.
or wherever it is.
Okay, moving on. There's under nuisance removal of waste, manure and animal droppings. For A, there was an add of other than owner's property to the end of A. From the city was wanting, the commissioners was wanting that added. Any further discussion on that? Okay, hearing none, we'll go down to under the alphabet G, the next paragraph. There was a strikeout again of penalties and citations. It's repetitive throughout the ordinance, so we're just cleaning that up. Section 15, wild and prohibited animals. Under the first paragraph of the next page, and added was non-native animals and the strikeout of roosters.
Okay.
Any heartburn on that correction?
Just a second.
You good? Okay. So it essentially, that paragraph is listing a list of animals. One thing they decided to strike out was roosters, and then add after camels and non-native animals. Do we have, did they make a definition of non-native animals early on?
That was, I don't believe that's in definitions.
I don't think it
That
is.
was Nancy.
Yeah.
Nancy wanted to add that.
She did want to add
Okay.
that.
I would only suggest if we're gonna add, non-native animals, that we define what non-native animals is.
I agree.
Because my definition and yours could be totally different.
Right.
Commissioner Hedges just decided to join us. Welcome. Just to get you up to speed, we're going through the corrections, 13 through 22. We're on section 14 right now. I'll give you a few minutes to gather yourself, but we'll keep marching and catch you up later if you have any questions, okay?
I can't read anyway.
Oh, you can't read and write either?
No,
Oh, oh,
That's two of us.
for me, I don't.
okay, all right. So, moving on to the next correction, the following wild animals, paragraph, the strikeout of antelope. you know, just go to section, you would have to go to section 14.
Okay.
You there? No, you got way too much on there. Let me get
Show
you.
me teeth. How'd you get rid?
Yeah.
Oh, you're way.
Yeah, so, yeah, this is where we're at. Yeah, yep, you good. All right, so moving on to section 15, fowl and livestock and feral cats. This is a section, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. That comes at the end.
Yes, this is a section where the attorney is getting further information from the state, and which we will omit their entire livestock. You remember we had came up with, when we adopted the number of animals they could have per acreage, per section that's within the city. I think there's, Texas A&M has come up with a chart that will direct what that is throughout the state. So I think the city, we will adopt whatever they send down. That way we're in compliance. And when they're doing various ag projects within the city, I think it gives, but I think we will need to look at that to make sure.
That we wanna go along with it.
Right, and not only that, we want to go along with it, that it didn't, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to get into the business aspect of it, where they may have animals for ag project, but then it goes into a full-blown business. That would be something we would need to keep in mind. We don't know what that is, so under her legal advisement, that we will omit the entire section. Is that what you get from her, Patty? That's correct?
Yes, so, Mayor Bartlett and Ashley Hogue and I visited with the city attorney after the city commission meeting, and, the commission had several questions to ask her, regarding the notations that she had made, and so we went over each one of those notations. Some of the notations, she will be coming back to us with language that is appropriate, that she feels like is legal and appropriate for the ordinance. And then she was going to check a little bit further on the density regulations on livestock animals, that she felt pretty sure at this time we would really just need to delete this section that entail the density of it, and possibly amend the ordinance at a later date once the regulations were actually established.
Okay.
Guidelines were established.
Okay, sounds good. Now, under section 16, we will keep fowl in there, but after that, everything else in section 16 will be omitted. However, there is, at the end of section 16, feral cats, there is some corrections on that. They wanted to add personal feeding feral cats colonies shall be construed as owner harboring or keeping those cats. So that is an add. And the attorney had a note to the side. And I think one of her main concerns throughout is the code enforcer, how they will, if we would have the manpower to enforce a lot of the ordinance, well, this ordinance. And my comment to that would be, we will enforce the ordinance as they find violators, and that's pretty much all you can do. They're not gonna go in search of someone violating the ordinance. Usually, they would get a call, and then they would go and check, and then at that point, you go out and you assess it at that point. So I'm pretty sure if animal control, is that kind of how it works for you?
Where are we at on that one? What page?
So,
It's at the very end of 16.
Oh, is it at the very end?
right, yeah,
Yeah.
right above section 17, traps. It's that little section right above it.
And the city attorney is also working on language
I got
for
it.
that.
I found it.
To, make it more flowing, rather than bullet points,
Yes.
make it more flowing with the rest of the ordinance
Okay, so
layout.
she's gonna look at more, putting it into a paragraph format instead of bullets?
Right.
Okay. And that's acceptable, as long as the language is still in there. In section 17 under traps, there were no corrections, suggestions to be made in that section. Moving on to section 18, kennel permits for breeders and rescue organization. Now, some of the concerns that the citizens were having, so I got the email and wanted to make sure that breeders and rescuers should be listed separately or differently. That's one of their suggestions. So what they were wanting is, the writer of this, who was this, Terry Hensley, they suggested that that all permit fees, application, et cetera, be waived for nonprofit rescue organization under section 18. How do y'all feel about that?
Yeah, I think when Terry and the other rescue spoke, it made sense to me that any established rescue, that it made sense you still need a permit, but the fee would be waived
Yeah.
for any rescue.
And y'all, commission, y'all good with that?
I'm fine with that.
I guess animal control, do y'all see any issue? Just asking you, okay. So that would be one, Patty, that would be under section 18, that we waive fees for those rescue organizations. I'm looking through some other emails that were sent out. Did y'all have a lot of speakers last time?
At the city, not at this council meeting. The
Okay.
first one we
It
did.
was
And
the
I
first
think they
meeting.
were, yeah, and I think that's where most
Most
of
of this
those
came
came
out.
from.
Okay.
Second Chance spoke.
Yeah.
I think those were the two rescues, if I remember right. That-
Okay. And Jim Hoffman also seconded that. I guess that he is the head of,
Second
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 Chance.
Chance.
Second
okay.
chance.
That's what you just mentioned. Okay, moving on, section 18A, kennels permits and requirements for breeders. That's where that is, where that was inputted to correct. And also, a whole section was added in B, Bravo, kennel permits and requirements for animal rescue organization, what we were just speaking of.
And the commission did express a concern about having rescues located in residential areas.
Okay,
And so, of course, I guess we only have technically one rescue located currently in a residential area. And I assume that because it was already in existence, that it would be allowed to continue. But the commission suggested that any City Rescue might need to apply for a conditional use permit in residential areas. Because some residential areas, depending on the property, like the existing rescue, they do neonates, so the animals are inside basically all the time, so it doesn't affect the neighbors.
Yeah, I could see that with cats and stuff being inside.
Right,
Okay.
and she even does when she does puppies, neonate puppies, they're inside, so.
Thank you, Patty. So, the commissioners did already add and waive the fees that we were just discussing, but I wanted to make sure the commissioners, you guys were okay with that as well.
Yes.
Okay, section 19, under tampering with animal control facilities. There was no corrections in that section. Section 20, payment of fees. If you go to citation protocol, that was under C, a strikeout of ticketing throughout that little paragraph of bullet points. Tickets was changed to citations. Okay, and then the attorney comment, paying the citation is equivalent to a conviction of a Class C offense, and the city may not require this ordinance. So, another issue struck out under that bullet point, if an animal was picked up by animal control and the citation was striked out, all fees and kenneling charges must be paid in full before the animal can be released or redeemed. So the citation was striked out. That way you can still collect the fees, because we're not the, I guess, law enforcement. So that's why she suggested that. Any comments about that section? Section 21, fees in impoundment and release from impoundment. There is no corrections in that section. And finally, section 22. Under B, the strikeout of $20 was moved to $25 per year for annual registration fees.
And that change, I know y'all set the $20, but the commission wanted to up that just a little bit.
Okay. I mean, at the end of the day, we suggest, and then they
Make the decisions.
approve and make the decisions and put it into operation. So with that said, that ends sections 13 through 22. Looking at the revisions, from what I'm hearing from the city, they're gonna clean this up, they're gonna print, take all the corrections and make one ordinance, and then at that point, we can go back over it, and it's in black and white and not red. So we can, and we're not toggling back and forth between different sections. So I will entertain a motion to accept the changes. Well, I will entertain a motion now that the discussion is over, because we need to action. So we either approve it or not.
I'll second it. Did you make the motion?
No, I did not.
I'll make the motion, we accept it.
I'll second it.
Okay, so, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. item number 2, approval of the minutes from February the 5th special meeting. Patty, did you do the corrections on this? Okay, all right.
I'm ready, yeah.
Any issues with the minutes from February the 5th? You good? We know what happened. Do you have to rush? I'm entertaining the vote.
Let him
You know
look.
what happened. You good?
I'll make the motion, we approve the minutes from the February 5th meeting.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, before we adjourn, so the plan from what I gather is that, Patty, a clean ordinance copy will be, made, and at our next meeting, we will vote on, approving the ordinance and sending it to the city? Or does the city commissioners need to take another look, at it before it comes back to us? How are they wanting it?
I'm not sure if they want to go ahead, we make the changes that y'all made tonight, incorporate it, into a hard final copy, and send it out to y'all, let y'all review it and see if there's any red flags,
Okay.
without having a meeting.
Okay.
Can we get it a little quicker than a few days before?
Sure.
The city, because giving us a week prior to the
Yeah.
city, because we all can't attend the city's meeting, only 2 of us can,
Right.
then that would give us an opportunity to voice concerns if there's any big red flags.
The mayor was hoping on getting this on the March 18th agenda,
Okay,
for final approval. But, I'm a little concerned on that, just merely because we've given the city attorney a deadline of March 12th
ooh,
to get
Yeah.
her language that she's gonna add in, back from her, so to get all the changes made, get it out to y'all, get it out to the commission.
that's only 6 days, so that may not.
That's crunch time, so I may, talk to the mayor in the morning, asking him to, let's bump it from the March 18th regular meeting. We're having a lot of meetings right now, special meetings because, of the hiring of a new city administrator.
Okay,
And so I think special meeting, advertise it to the public very well so that they're aware that it's coming before the commission for a final vote, upload it to the website, so that the public can view it in its entirety and how it's going to be presented to be approved, and then go from there,
Okay.
is my thought.
I think that's.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay, it's been a long time coming, it's been, been a while, but that's okay. At this point, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.